Lunar Eclipse in Scorpio, May 2022. All right, we are officially in the middle of eclipse season. Following the solar eclipse in Taurus on April 30th, we have a full moon / lunar eclipse / blood moon in Scorpio on May 16th. This will be totally shaking up our lives and moving us out of our comfort zones. It will be asking us to take our learnings from the solar eclipse and our new beginnings and really make sure that we're following through on this and make this a transformational shift in our lives. And of course, we are in the middle of Mercury retrograde as well, further emphasizing this energy of reassessing, reflecting, and releasing. So let's get into it. Let's get into some quick breakdowns of this energy. I'll be sharing more detail and depth on my podcast. You can check that out at the link in my bio. Okay, so lunar eclipse / full moon / blood moon on May 16th in Scorpio. So just to start off, giving a brief introduction of the full moon in May, it actually is known as the flower moon. It's called this because it represents a time where we really begin to see flowers blooming and trees perking up because of the consistent warmer weather. And so it usually means the same thing for our lives. It symbolizes a time where we start to see our goals and manifestations coming to fruition in our tangible and material world specifically. But with this being a lunar eclipse as well, it's not going to happen without some deep introspection and heavy transformation. Okay, now moving on to general energies of this full moon. So as all full moons, the sun and the moon will be in direct opposition from each other. The sun will be in the grounded and earthly Taurus, while the moon will find itself in the transformative and private Scorpio. Now, it's important to note, especially with this lunar eclipse, that the moon does not have the easiest time transiting through Scorpio. It's considered to be in fall, meaning that it's considered to be in a position of weakness when it's transiting through this sign, because it has a harder time identifying what its role is and how to express itself in this specific sign. Because of the level of intensity that a Scorpio feels, it can actually get very overwhelming for the moon, and it doesn't actually know how to process that level of emotion. And this is just very much a Scorpio energy, right? Of feeling a lot, but also understanding that others may be overwhelmed by that. So having this tendency of repressing and not fully expressing ourselves. So with this full moon, it's going to be really easy to get overwhelmed by big, dark emotions and these shadow subconscious thoughts rising to the surface. So it'll be really important to pay attention during this time because yes, the sun will be in Taurus and that's super grounding, but with these aspects of the moon being in fall and it also being a lunar eclipse, it's very likely that this moon energy will take over very easily. So now on to the eclipse aspect of this lunar event. The main themes and focuses for these upcoming eclipses will be on deep transformation, gaining emotional clarity, realigning ourselves with our values, and rebuilding our roots. If you want more detail on the eclipse cycle, I have posted a few things, so go check that out. But basically, this theme is going to be stretched out over the next year and into 2023, and we'll be encountering this theme every 6 months. So lunar eclipses are really a time of destruction. I really don't mean to scare you, but it's about really our foundations crumbling, but the foundations that were never sound or did not have a good structure to them. It's a time where things end abruptly and things shift and change very quickly and dramatically. And with this eclipse falling in Scorpio, there's going to be a deep emphasis on transforming through this time, making this a transformative shift in our lives, going more deeply into our psyche and into our emotions, and really shedding light on those darker aspects of ourselves and just our lives in general, and allowing ourselves to release those. And yes, this may sound very dark, but that is essential and it's part of our healing process. We need to shed light on these harder aspects of our lives, the darker times that we've been through, so that we can shed light on these aspects, accept, move on, and heal them. This eclipse will really be about releasing any tension that we're holding on in our bodies, any old patterns, negative thought habits that we are still clinging on to because you haven't fully processed or released it yet. And this can bring fundamental shifts to our lives, and specifically the roots that we're trying to build for ourselves. For more information, check out the link in my bio or my podcast, or feel free to reach out to me directly.